Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome back to another episode of our Gems of War Let's Play. Today we're going to be upgrading some of the kingdoms, doing some stuff with the new event, and finally getting the dragon armor. So first things first, let's upgrade our two kingdoms here. We now have 3 additional magic kingdoms. Of course, upgrading every single one of these to 10 will be giving each of our troops an additional magic. As you can see here, they have now been raised by an additional 1, and then as we go and head over and do this yet again, we'll be even 1 higher on that, and quite fitting, doing it on Kakarot this week, and it is the event week for Kakarot. And if we come back here, we should see a 5 there, and then a 4. So now everything we have has an additional 3 magic, from having Zolkiri, Kakarot, and Darkstone all to level 10, and of course now we're working on Blighted Lands, which is currently the 4th magic kingdom in the game, which is all 4 of them. So we're almost there. We'll probably have that by the end of the week. And now for something really important to do as a free-to-play player. You may have noticed we have not actually spent a single gem on this account. The main reason for this is there is something that we have been saving for, and that of course is the dragon or celestial armor. Normally I would say go with the dragon armor, both of which are a 500 gem armor, both of which are the 2 best armors you can get in the game as far as free to play is concerned. One of them gives 50% to everything and 100% to souls, and the other one gives 50% to everything and 100% to gold. Normally I go with the dragon armor first, normally because gold is a lot more important. We need this to actually upgrade all of our kingdoms, which is a priority at the moment. Plus, we'll be able to help our guild some more and get keys and various other gold-related things from that. So the only thing that Celestial Armor would really help us with is if we intend to do a lot of Arena, because Arena gives a lot of souls. But if we don't really intend to do that, we really don't have much of a need to use the Celestia or Celestial Armor. One thing to note is you did want to pay a little bit. There is the best armor in the game, which is the Death Knight pack. Also pretty much the best pack in the entire game. Gives a bunch of keys, gives the 100% to all bonuses. But you won't really be needing, and of course we're going completely free to play. But if you wanted to skip having to spend like 500 or 1,000 gems on the dragon and celestial armor, you could just get that instead. But of course we won't be, because we are doing a free to play account. One thing to note, the next thing we spend after on our gems will be 50 bulks of gem keys. Buying them in 10 bulks, 1 bulks, 50 bulks, doesn't matter how many you use at once. It'll still give you the exact same drop rate and everything like that. But what does change is the price. They get slightly cheaper as you buy them with gems in larger bulks. So right now, I'm actually going to be going through all of our keys. This is mainly because we need a giant spider, or oh wow, we get another Hellcat, really? Because we need another, or we need a giant spider or a green slime. Both of those 2 troops work very well with the 2 troops that... Oh, we got it. Wow. Well, I was just talking about that. But yeah, Giant Spider works really well with the 2 troops that just came out this week, which I'll be showing in a moment. But it transforms selected mana color to purple, then summons a spider based on whatever its magic is. And it has a very good first trait, a magic link, which will give us even more magic, or more purple whenever we match them. So that will be very useful. Myriad, we don't really need. You can use them for treasure map farming, but Tyree is exponentially better, which we currently don't have, but we'll be getting her eventually. Let's take 2 little things and then do a 50 drop of this. Okay, nothing on that. Nothing on that. And let's see what we get from our 50. Maybe we can get our 3rd legendary today. Who knows? Apothecary. I don't believe we had Apothecary, but let's see. Taraxis and Apothecary. Very interesting. It's kind of funny that we get them both at once, because they actually synergize with each other if we want to use them in a team. Taraxis is a pretty good looping troop, mainly for doing damage to all enemies. Deals damage to all enemies, then transforms all blue to brown, and that's at a 3-to-1 boost ratio, and can do quite a bit of decent damage if there are a lot of blue on the board. An Apothecary selects a gem, turns them all to brown, and then cleanses all allies. It's basically like a Mercy, except better for earlier on in the game. Mercy gets empowered, which allows it to do it on first turn, but it takes a lot of trait stones to actually get that up on her. So Apothecary is normally a better early game alternative, so that's nice that we got her instead of a Mercy. Wow, quite a few other ones. Herdmaster. Herdmaster is a pretty good exploding troop, particularly with Soothsayer, Herdmaster, Soothsayer, Crimson Bat. If you happen to have a Crimson Bat, that's probably his best purpose in the entire game. but he explodes a bunch of random yellow gems and then cleanses all allies. Kind of like Apothecary, except an explosion version. Lava Elemental we got another one of him, but we're actually going to be using him later this week. Because we're going to be able to get his trait stones, and of course we'll be going over trait stones more in this series. We haven't actually traded anything yet, but we will be. Charm, Lamia, you don't really use that much. Earlier on in the game, she's kind of okay. Charm basically just makes a enemy deal their attack damage to the allies above and below it, but it's only directly above and below it. If there's like a troop dead in between, it actually won't do any damage to that. And a Manticore, very, very powerful on consoles, though it did get nerfed pretty hard on PC and mobile, and consoles will probably get that nerf too. It stuns an enemy, drains their mana by 7, and then gains attack based on its magic. That wasn't nerfed, but what was nerfed is the fact that he has a fast trait. He used to have empowered, which allowed him to cast on the very first turn, but now it's only fast, so you'll start with 4 mana if you have him fully traded instead of the full 9 that he previously did. But he does have Impervious, still a pretty good troop, just not as viable as he used to be. Thorn Knight we won't really need. He's a cheap alternative if we really need an Entangle, but unless we like desperately need a Tangle for some reason. Tangle prevents attack gains on whatever troop is entangled, plus it reduces their attack to 0 until it is cleansed off, but you just deal some damage to them. Removes all the reds, boosted at a 3-to-1, and then entangles them. And I believe that's all the new drops we got, but we do have some gem keys here. I'm not going to use the event keys though. We got the giant spider, no reason to use them. Aberrath isn't that good, so we won't really be needing it. So let's see what we can get off these gem keys. Let's just pull it off. And nope, all repeats, nothing new. Another anointed one, which you don't really need. A runic. Spirit Fox, I guess. Spirit Fox and Chimera is probably the best 2 drops from here that we'll actually be able to use. Maybe even the Winter Wolf, but we already have copies of all of them, so that won't help us too much. So anyways, let's head over now to the shop. This is pretty important because the glory rewards for once this week are actually very, very good. Void Portal is going to be helping us out a lot, especially how buffed it is this week. It's going to be absolutely insane. It has the highest durability in the game, even more than Fortress Gate, which is very nice. But what we're going to be using it for is being able to summon any daemon in the entire game, which is going to be pretty useful because we can just infinitely tank with all of its summons. So we're going to get one of these. We also get 20 souls, additional souls per battle, anytime that we use a Void Portal in our team. And let's go now to the Dark Troll. Dark Troll is like all the other trolls. It doubles a specific color. This one doubles purple, which is pretty good. And on top of that, it even gains souls, and quite a decent amount of souls too. It's also pretty good to fully trait, though how early in the game that we are, it would be a waste of trait stones to try to trait an epic. Pretty much no epic is worth trading in the entire game below like level 200 or so, mainly because their cost to how effective their traits are is not a good ratio. Normally you just go without them and spend them on legendaries or something else instead. But let's get a copy of him. Might even need to get a second copy of him because we are getting 2 arcane lava trait stones. These we'll likely be using on our lava elemental later this week. But oh, I forgot, we get a little bit more keys from these. Let me go use those real quick. Highly doubt we'll get anything good from these, but we might as well go and check them. Let's get our little resources, our trait stone accumulation, which we'll be using soon. And yep, nothing good. Okay, so let's go now and build a team or 2. I didn't make any pre-made teams. I didn't know if we would get a giant spider or not. So let's go see what we can actually do with what we currently have. Let's just go to our empty slot. Do we even have a empty slot right now? No, we do not. But let's just go over Darkstone. This is pretty old. The Darkstone event already passed. So let's just replace this with Karkaroth, I guess. If I can spell it correctly. I think I just spelled it wrong. Yeah, that's probably wrong. Let's see. Did I spell Karkaroth wrong? No, I think I got it right. It's just a very weird word. Yeah, I spelled it right. Okay, so we'll be needing our Dark Troll. We'll be needing that. We'll be needing, even though this is a little bit of a weird choice, we'll be needing our Dragon Soul. The main reason for this is we don't really have that many alternatives as far as other troops leveled. We are limited on our amount of souls right now, so that is something keeping us back. We may even need to remove the Dark Troll from this build because we're going to be a little bit bad on colors right now. We'll put a giant spider in there. We'll actually put our Dragon Soul in front of it just so it can tank some. And we are missing a color. We are missing yellow, though missing yellow isn't going to be that big of a deal. So I'm kind of fine with that being missed. So, unfortunately, we do have a pretty under-leveled Dark Troll. I don't know exactly what we should do with this, mainly because I'm limited on souls. Or then again, I have a little bit more souls than I thought I did. So, let's actually upgrade our gate. The main reason I'm doing this is because, for one, it gets some pretty nice magic this week. And the other one is because we're going to be needing this to try to get as many souls this week as possible, because we're not only getting souls from Dark Troll and the Dragon Soul, we also get 20 additional souls every single time we win with a Void Portal in our team. As you can see over here in the events, if we go over to bonus souls, use the Void Portal and either explore PvP and gain 20 additional souls per victory. So we will be using that all week this week to try to get 20 additional souls, and that's on top of all the souls that we're already gaining from the Dragon Soul and the Dark Troll. So that's what we're going to be doing. And let's put the rest of our levels into our Dark Troll, get him up. We'll be using this to not only gain some souls, but also to feed all the purple mana that we need for our Dragon Soul and our Void Portal. So we'll be doing that. We have our banner set to a +2 purple, +1 red, -1 yellow. Main reason is we don't actually use anything with yellow. We're covering every color except yellow, so that -1 doesn't do anything. Helps give our Dragon Soul up quickly. Helps the Dark Troll because he has 11. Normally you want to use a +1 whenever a troop has 10 or 11 mana, or those are normally the sweet spots. 7, 10, and 11. You normally want to give a +1 to their mana to fully utilize them. We can also get our first trait on Giant Spider. We might as well do this now, because Giant Spider's pretty big. I was going to do a whole separate video on trading, but, well, we still will be. But I'm pretty sure most of you by now who've been watching this series have started to trait some of your troops. But, there's a whole methodology on which troops are worth and not worth doing. But any of them that have like an excessively good trait like this are definitely worth it. I will be going over in great detail in the later videos which ones are extremely worth and not worth it. But this one definitely is. Magic Link, getting an extra purple every single time is definitely worth it. We won't need big, we won't really need venomous. We could go up to venomous if we want, but at the current moment it would just be a waste of our current trait zone. So we're just going to go for this Magic Link here. That'll help us. Now we have a +3 bonus on our purple, which will help our Dragon Soul out a lot. We go over to bonuses here. We have +2 from there and the +1 from here. One thing to note about this Magic Link though is now that we finally have a trait, if this Giant Spider gets stunned somehow, it will no longer have this trait, so we don't have the +2. Luckily, Banner cannot actually be stunned, which is one strategic thing you can do with the Banner if you really need those extra colors. Instead of having it on a troop with the Magic Link, or whatever link you need, you can have it on your Banner, and there's no way to remove that. But if they stun our Giant Spider, we will no longer have that bonus for the duration of that stun. So let's go see how this works. Oh, let me upgrade my Dark Troll to however far we can do it. Fortunately, we can only do it to level 14 because I do not have the souls at the moment, but we'll be accumulating enough throughout this week that we can probably level him all the way if we want to, and he'll gain all those stats if we get him all the way upgraded. That 2 magic in particular is going to be really good, mainly because I need at least 1 more magic on him. Our Void Portal does not trigger until we have 12 or more souls, and it would be a good idea if you're using a Dark Troll to have it at least 12 soul gain, just to make sure that your Void Portal will trigger after only 1 Dark Troll, because now we kind of need to depend on Giant Spider or a double Dark Troll cast until we get that 1 magic, but we will be getting that 1 magic pretty soon, so not much we have to worry about with that. Giant Spider, we could give it a few levels. I think I am, just to make sure it doesn't die. This is solely for the purpose to make sure it doesn't die. Actually, I should have just leveled all the way up. Let's just click the level, use the last of our souls here. This is mainly for the armor and HP. I want to make sure it's a little bit more durable so it doesn't die. It also increases every single magic, increases the level that the spider spawns comes in at, because as you can see now, it's a level 8 spider. It's based exactly on the magic. And of course, it can only go up to level 20. Like a Void Portal right now, it has 23 magic, which means it's going to be summoning a daemon, a random daemon based on that. And that can summon legends and mythics, by the way, even if you do not own them. They just won't have their traits because you don't have the traits on them. But even if you don't own them, they will come in like that. But as you can see, we're going to be summoning a level 20 of whatever we end up doing, or whatever the max rarity that we possibly can. So, we'll be capped out on that. It doesn't actually do a level 23 because 20 is the max in the entire game. But we're going to be doing this, see how it goes. Maybe do a battle or 2 right now against just whatever these things are and see how it goes. Should be able to do pretty good. We're of course going to be accumulating a lot of souls this week. We could potentially gain 60 souls per battle. One other thing to note is, oh, I completely forgot to set our dragon armor. That is what I forgot to do, so let's go do that. Good job. Failing from the bat. So we'll just retreat from this. I don't really mind gaining a little loss right there. But I completely forgot to tell you how to set this armor. Not just that, but I forgot to set it on myself, so we actually get the bonus. Just buying the armor isn't enough for the bonus. One thing to note is you can only have one armor bonus on at a time. For example, if we had 2 of them right here, let's just say this was something with like 50% soul bonus, we wouldn't get 50% of that and all of the dragon armor. We would only get one or the other. So you have to choose which one of the armors you want to have active. So we're going to set this as our active armor, our dragon armor, which now gives us 100% gold bonus, 50% soul bonus, and 50% EXP bonus per battle. One thing to note is you can change your appearance to be separate from your actual hero thing, because now we're still using our same appearance, but we're now gaining this bonus. So it doesn't matter what your appearance is, as long as you set it on your armor screen, what you want your bonus to be based on what armor you pick. That's what it's going to be, and then you can change your appearance to whatever you want. You don't actually have to be visually wearing the armor for it to take effect. So let's go do this correctly now and head over into this battle. Let me scout it out because this is a little bit of a higher level, but he might be under leveled, which might be why I think we might be able to take it out. It's a little bit of an annoying night team, but should be able to take it out with just a bunch of purple spam, get it on our dragon soul, and just keep going from there. So we'll go do a battle or two, kind of test out what we can really do with this. Of course, we'll also be doing it on stream probably later today. We'll be doing some streaming on this account and kind of just messing around with this team and others. So, of course, same premise. We'll want to rush purples, want to rush reds with this team. Use Dragon Soul, just get a bunch of souls. Now, whenever we use this gate, we will be getting a daemon in an empty slot. One thing to note is if we do not have any empty slots, it will not summon a daemon because there's nowhere to do it. He also gives all daemons to magic whenever he casts. Unfortunately, this team does not use a single daemon, so that will not really be doing anything. And you also probably notice these bonuses. We do have a construct and a Kakarot bonus for the event this week, 25% for both. And of course, if it's both of them, like that of this gate, it will be getting both of them. And we do have a 25% on our tank right now, which is normally good to do. And normally earlier in the game, I've been noticing as I've been doing this, it's pretty good to set at least a 25% bonus troop as your tank, mainly because they're pretty tanky compared to other things you have. Of course, this one's a bit under-leveled compared to our Dragon Soul, so it's a little bit less tanky, but that's also because it's not leveled up at all. It's still only level 14, but that'll come in time. Okay, so we do have our Giant Spider. I will not actually be able to use that on this board, so we'll use this first, and then follow it up with a Giant Spider, hopefully somewheres. Giant Spider was one of the main components we needed for this. We can use a Green Slime instead if we happen to have not gotten a Giant Spider, but we essentially just need this for getting a lot of mana off of the board. Right now, we can't gain an extra turn with it, but oh wait, yes we can. We could have taken that red, then gone for the yellow. Oh well. Well, a little late now, already clicked it. And we might still be able to take that if the AI doesn't, so okay. We can still do that move. It's not going to give us any mana that we need, but we can still take it. There we go. I should have done that the previous turn, but we'll do that. We at least set up the purple that we needed. And let's just keep hitting them with this. Maybe we'll try a 3 trophy. It would have to be a slightly easier 3 trophy though, because I do want to see if we can try getting a random daemon in this video. Let's just get over now, get our nice extra turn. This is why we need Giant Spider. Very nice, gives us a lot of mana, works really good with Dragon Soul, works really good with Dark Troll plus the Void Portal. So you definitely want to try to see if you have a Giant Spider when combining it with these two. You do not have to use a Dragon Soul. Of course, there's plenty of other damage options out there, but Dragon Soul is probably the best one that we could possibly do in a composition like this. So it's pretty lucky that we happened to get it, and the event was pretty favorable to us. So let's go take our 3 trophy real quick, see what this is. It is a little bit of an easier 3 trophy, but hopefully he'll at least be able to kill our Dark Troll so I can show the summon. If not, maybe I'll just deliberately let our first slot die, just so we can get a summon there. And he does have double Ranger, so that should be pretty easy to do, letting it die, because Ranger is probably one of the, if not the strongest troops early on in the game. Like, if you're under level 100, Ranger is like the cheapest strong troop in the game. It is absolutely insane. 5 additional damage per enemy that's still alive. If they have 4 troops, that's 20 additional damage per cast. Plus, it already does damage to a target, plus it does split damage, and it just has so many purposes. Even before it got buffed, it was used a lot earlier on in the game, and now that it got buffed a little while ago, about a month or so ago, it's been used a lot. Okay, so I'm actually just going to let him kill us now. right here. I will use our Dark Troll real quick just to get the mana that we need. But other than that, I'm kind of just going to let him fade out. Dragon Soul, actually, maybe I will cast the Dragon Soul because we'll be needing that. Let's just take all of this off the board. And come on, give him skulls already. This isn't working as I wanted. I need you to survive. Okay, so we need to wait a couple turns until our Dark Troll dies. I might have gave it a bit too many levels, and now it doesn't want to die. But I want to be able to show the summon, so let's just give him a couple skulls real quick. One more skull will be able to do that. So let's see if we can actually give him one. We'll move that down. Then we can take the Browns next turn.
Mana surge.
That, or he'll do something to set it up. There we go, perfect. So he'll take that skull and kill it out. And now we can summon a random daemon. This summons any daemon in the entire game. Level is based on this, so we'll do this. And boom, we got our first mythic. No, I wish we had that troop. But as you can see, we now have a level 20 mythic just sitting here of death. Mythics are very, very hard to get in this game, but a lot of mythics are daemons right now. I think there's like 5 or 6 daemons that are actually a mythic type. So they will be summoned quite a bit when using the Void Portal. But as you can see here, a level 20 mythic. We don't even have a single troop at level 20 yet. Even our Dragon Soul, our strongest troop we currently have, is only level 19. Yet we just summoned a level 20 death. Unfortunately, we do not have any traits. The traits that any of these summons have is based on the traits you have on it. So let's say we had a death and we had all the traits on it and we used our Void Portal with no traits, and we happen to randomly get a death. That death would come in with all the traits when we summon it. But since we do not have a death, we don't have any traits on it. It just comes in with 0 traits because that's how many traits we actually have on this troop, and that applies to any of the troops that we summon. But here we go. We got our first mythic, technically. I wish we actually had that, but we have it on our team, and we can use it just like any other troop. So here we go. We get to cast our first mythic ability, which is pretty strong. Death actually is one of the better mythics out there. Quite a few of the Daemon ones actually are, but particularly Famine and Death. But what this one does is deal damage split among all enemies, boosted based on his HP at a 3-to-1. And it places Death Mark on all enemies, which is what's very strong about his ability, because Death Mark has a 10% chance to kill every single turn. You can sometimes get multiple kills with it. There's a lot of kill potential within that ability. So let's actually throw this down. I think they'll survive, so we'll get to see some deaths. Yep, there we go. You saw right there, Death Mark triggered, and it ended up killing him instantly, which was very beneficial. Of course, we can now use this Void Portal now to gain 2 additional magic on our Death or whatever Daemon we happen to summon there if we wanted to. But we'll just end this with a Dragon Soul, get our souls up to max, and then boom, there we go. And now we will get all those souls. We'll get the bonus. As you can see, we're getting a lot of extra resources from everything. Plus, we got that extra 20 souls. We got it from our armor bonus. Of course, this is being boosted by our armor bonus. You may have noticed before we started this battle, we were only going to get about 800 something gold for completing this battle. Well, because we have dragon armor, we now get twice as many at 1,696 gold. So, yeah, that is armors. That is this Void Portal. Definitely get a Void Portal. Level it up to max. Try putting it with a Giant Spider or Dark Troll or whatever you happen to have that works well with purple. And use that as your team, because 20 souls additional per turn or per battle this early on in the game, when you can actually make a good composition like that, is pretty powerful. Anyways, that'll wrap it up for this video. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.